Make money and buy assets. That's what this channel is all about. This channel is all about that first part, about making that money through wholesaling real estate. And what is wholesaling real estate? All wholesaling real estate is doing is finding discounted properties. That's it. And right here is a 10-step roadmap that I'm going to have one of my students break down for you, because I challenged HANIFAH Brown to break this down, because the best way to learn it is to actually teach it. Now, she's a phenomenal real estate agent here in Phoenix, but she usually works with rental property. She works with helping people build their portfolio. And this is a breakdown of how to source the absolute biggest and best deals. So you guys are in for an absolute treat, because she crushes it. Check this out. Boom! Hello everybody, it is Brent Daniels and I am joined by HANIFAH Brown.
Hello.
Yes, and today is a very special episode, because today we're going to draw out the exact 10 steps you need to follow to be able to complete a wholesale transaction. Because here is the facts. Wholesaling is like hitting the lottery. Wholesaling is a cash machine. And once you have that cash, you're able to buy assets, which is what you are the absolute pro at, is helping people buy rental properties, right?
Yes, exactly.
Right. So breaking down each process, we're going to go through them 1 through 10, and then Hanifa's going to explain what you do with the money afterwards to be able to buy those assets. So number 1 on the list, what are we looking at?
So the first thing we want to do is we want to find that distressed property. Mm-hmm. Say, for example, we have 1 million homes within Maricopa County, right? Yep. Out of the 1 million homes there, about 5 to 8% of those homes will be the distressed property, right? So you're looking for homes where there's opportunity there, where you have a seller who has equity that they're willing to trade for time and efficiency and speed, right?
Speed and convenience, yeah.
Speed and convenience.
So when you're looking at this, remember, one of the core elements of every single seller that's going to sell at a discount is they have a problem that you can solve. So number 1 on the list is find the distressed property. Okay, this is absolutely, when you go, what we're talking about here, that 5 to 8%, that is the people that are in distress. It depends on the size of your market, obviously. But here, that's like 50 to 80,000 properties, right? And we only have to do a small little percentage of those to really have a profitable business. So number 1, nice. I love it. Find the distress. So we've got the distressed homeowner. It's got, you can find these in so many different ways. I highly suggest if you're new, you do driving for dollars, and you just drive around the neighborhoods, find the properties that are beat up, and write down the address, or use the Deal Machine app, code TTP, so that you get a discount and you get all the information right there. So the number 1 is we find the distressed property. So
the second thing we want to do is we want to make sure we are talking to the owners.
TTP, right? This is the next step, right? We have to literally, let's draw out some homeowners. Let's draw us and some homeowners. Okay. Give yourself some hair. Yeah, there we go. And we're
little dress.
There we go. And
the blue dress.
And we're talking to a homeowner, and the conversation is we want to see if they would consider an offer on their property. But remember,
so there's 2 ways to talk to the owners. One way is going to be marketing, right? Mm-hmm. So through marketing, they're going to reach out to you, and by prospecting, TTP, of course, you're going to reach out to them.
Yeah, so it just depends on which strategy you want to go through. I always suggest a proactive approach, especially if your marketing budget is really small, that allows you to reach out to them and get a hold of those homeowners like right now, so you can see if they're ready to make a decision on the property. So what's number 3? Number
3 is pre-qualifying them.
That's right.
And there are going to be 4 steps to pre-qualifying your buyers or potential buyers, right? Number 1, we're going to look at the condition of the property. Super important. We're going to look at the timeline to sell. We're also going to look at the motivation to sell. You can't sell anything if they're not motivated, right?
Not at a discount.
And also the price that they want.
Yeah. So this is how you're pre-qualifying every single seller in your market. Because a lot of people will waste your time because of what they want to do when you reach out to them or when they reach out to you through the marketing is they want to know how much you'll offer them. Because they just basically want to know, they want you to just give them a free valuation of their property. And what we want to look for is people that are motivated to sell. So you go through this process of getting the condition of the property. We love when it's really, really, really rough. Their timeline to sell, we want it to be in the next 30 days. Their motivation to sell, there's so many different motivations. Maybe they inherited the property. Maybe they're behind on their bills. Maybe it's been a rental that they can't take care of anymore. Maybe it's been a multifamily that's just been beat up over the years and years and years, and they don't have the budget to fix it up. And then, guys, the most important is price. Okay, you got to get that price from them. I know that they say motivation has to be key, and I get it, but you got to pull the price out of them. So, what's number 4?
Number 4 is going to be your follow-up.
That's right.
Follow-up is going to be incredibly important because you have to take into consideration that when you have these people with the distressed properties, no offense, but they may not be the most motivated naturally, right? So that's going to be our job, to keep them high energy. We're going to be fanatical, staying on them, right?
Yeah, you got to follow up. I mean, it's as much as picking up the phone or sending a text message, giving them a call. Because, I mean, without the follow-up, I mean, this is really where I see most investors and wholesalers drop the ball, is they're just not reaching out at the time that the people need to make a choice. And remember, these are people that aren't really great at making, like, really big choices. So you need to be able to be in front of them so that you can really help them out.
Being fanatical.
Yep. Be fanatical with your gotta be with follow-up. Yep. Number 5.
Alrighty. So number 5 is going to be getting that contract signed, right?
This is it.
So that's one of the next major steps here.
So getting the contract signed, this is when things get real. This is when you get a purchase contract and you get it signed by the homeowner, right? For whatever the terms are that you had already negotiated with them. Hopefully everything is ironed out over the phone so that when you go to the house, you take the pictures, you talk to the homeowner, and you get the contract signed. Getting the contract signed should be a natural progression of you pre-qualifying them so well that it really turns out, I mean, it really, it's just, you give them a pen, they sign, you rock and roll, and you get going. So it's really important. Unless you have a signed contract, you do not have an opportunity to wholesale.
Hello.
Yep.
All right. So moving on, we're going to step 6, which is going to be marketing the right to purchase to a cash buyer.
Yeah, this is much different. When you are wholesaling, you're marketing your right to the purchase contract. Okay, this is different. Okay, this is not you're marketing the property. You're marketing your contract. You're actually selling your right to purchase that property that's outlined in the purchase contract. So just remember that. That's what we need to do. We need to market the right to purchase that. And yeah.
Alrighty.
Rock and roll.
You're moving through this quickly. Thank you.
I'm cruising.
Thank you for that. So the next step, step 7, is going to be an assignment to contract.
Yeah, so remember when you're marketing, just to go back a step, when you're marketing the right to the property, and I hope you guys can all hear me. I talk really loud, so HANIFAH's wearing the microphone, so I hope while we're moving around that you can hear me. But the marketing the right to purchase the property, you need to get as many cash buyers as possible. Because the more cash buyers you have, the more exit strategies they have, whether they want to buy it to live in it, buy it as a rental, or buy it as a fix and flip, right? Those are all different price points for different strategies, right? And different property conditions. So.
All right, moving on, we have step 8, and that is going to be collecting the non-refundable earnest deposit.
Yeah. So once you get it, once you find that buyer, you select it, you get the contract. The next contract is a different contract than the purchase contract. It is an assignment agreement, and you get that signed by the buyer. Now, things don't get real with this buyer until they put money down. You got to collect a non-refundable earnest deposit. It is an absolute must, because I don't know how many times I thought I had a deal sold, but they didn't have their money in, and they just wanted to try to sell my deal, or they weren't legit, or they were just starting. You know, you've been through it.
Absolutely.
Right? So getting this non-refundable, that means it is written out to the title company or closing attorney and it is non-refundable once they get it in there. So what you're wanting is you want those buyers that are like, I am driving to title right now. Where do I go? Right? That's what you want with these cash buyers.
Exactly. So that takes us to our next step. We're at step 9. So that is getting those funds along with that purchase contract over to title. And the first thing they're going to do is review that. They're going to make sure you actually have a clear title so that the property can be conveyed.
So what does it mean to have clear title?
Clear title means basically that the person who's selling the property has rights with no liens. There are no other claims to owning that specific property, so that it can convey to the new owner.
Yeah, and why is that important?
That's important because if someone else owns your property, has rights to the potential property that you're buying, it's not gonna work out for you.
Well, yeah, and then you have, it's really hard to transfer title if it's like a clouded title, right? So it's really important to get clear title for sure. Clear title. That's right. And here in this process, guys, this is when the seller gives all their information to the title company, make sure that they can pay everything off, make sure that all of if they have a mortgage, if they have taxes due, if they have any judgments, whatever, gets paid off during that. The title company handles that for you. So you don't have to learn all that. What you need to learn is how to talk to distressed homeowners. That's what you need to learn how to do, and how to build a robust cash buyer database. Okay, so clear title, let the title company or closing attorney do their job and get that. That's when the cash buyer also sends in their funds to be able to cash everybody out. So the funds come in, the seller gets whatever's coming to them after the transaction. You get your assignment fee, which is the best part, which leads us naturally to number 10. Yeah.
Which is a lot of people's favorite step, right?
Yeah.
And that is collecting that check,
Collect the check. Yep.
So we're gonna collect your money in green, big dollars. Oh no, running out of green. It's not good, not good.
Nice. Yeah, so really, guys, that's the 10 steps. Hopefully you heard me, and hopefully we did this in a way that made sense. But really, if you roll this back and just watch the 10 steps and just we'll write it out on the description. It's really that easy. Then you build up the funds. And what are you seeing with people that are looking for rental properties right now? Like, is there money in the economy right now? Like, are people buying more rentals? Like, what are you seeing?
There's always opportunity to purchase rental properties or to work within that specific market. No matter what, if there's highs or lows in the economy, people are always going to rent. I cannot stress that enough. So it's pretty much a safe bet.
And building up I'm telling you, with wholesaling, you get just giant assignment fees that allows you to build that bank account to be able to purchase those rental properties, whether it's even with a seller financing that needs some money down, or if it's just traditional and getting a loan from a loan officer or a bank or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Are most of the people that you're working with or yourself, are you buying it cash? Are they getting some sort of financing? Is it easy to get financing right now?
Right now, I think there's a proper system put in place to where as long as you have the correct documentation, you have the correct you're at a certain score, obviously, it's pretty much easy to get financing. And there are other ways to get financing as well that you don't necessarily have to go through those steps. And I'm sure you've heard our buddy Brent here talk a little bit about that. So, if there's a will, there's a way. There's a way to get it done. You just have to have the potential, right? Distressed properties, you have to have the motivation.
Listen,
and then go through the steps.
Wholesaling is the art of finding discounted properties. That's all it is. This is the 10 steps to get you to be able to do that. And then once you do that, then you buy the rental properties to build up your portfolio so that you can have passive cash flow so you don't have to work and you could just frickin' have a beautiful, beautiful portfolio, right?
Yay!
Yeah. So give us some comments down below. Let us know if you thought you missed anything. Let us know what you think of HANIFAH here. She is awesome. Hopefully she'll join us on some more videos. This is her first one, so who knows? So it's all crazy. We're just putting these things together, but really, really, really great. Awesome.
Thank you.
See you guys. Love you.